So, I've been kind of struggling with something, and I thought maybe if I vlogged about it, it would help take some of it off of what's going on within me. We need to take a better look at the way we treat addictions in this country. And I'm not talking about alcoholism. I'm not talking about drug addiction. If I was an alcoholic, I could go to an AA meeting and I could actually go and get help. There's all sorts of programs. If you're an alcoholic, if I was a drug addict, same thing. There's all sorts of government help that you can get if you're an addict and it's alcohol and it's drugs. You can go and the government will actually pay you to get clean and sober, and there's all sorts of help for going to school and stuff because you can't get your life on track because you're an alcoholic or a drug addict. But it's not the only addictions that we have in this country, in the world. When you have a food addiction, people just go, oh, well, maybe you should stop eating so much. Put the fork down, walk away. Ooh. It doesn't work that way. Like with any addiction, it gets into your head and it kind of wiggles in and doesn't really go anywhere until you do something about it. It becomes obsessive until that's all you can think about and that's all you want to do. When I am depressed and when I'm lonely or when I'm upset, I don't think about, oh, if I had a drink, I'd feel better. Or, oh, I wish I could just forget myself and, get high for a little while and just forget about everything. I don't think that way. But I know I have an addictive personality, and I know I have an addictive condition that goes on within me. I have a couple of addictions that I have. The biggest one and the one that's the most problem is the food addiction. Now, doesn't seem to get it through to other people that this is a serious issue and it's a serious problem. When I get lonely, when I get depressed, especially when I get depressed, oh my God, when I get depressed, all I want to do is eat. And it's not like oh, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get me a snack. It's literally, there's this in the house, I must eat it. There's that in the house, I must eat it. And you eat it, you're not hungry. You're not hungry. You're trying to fix an emotional need that you just can't fix. So it's difficult, and people don't understand it. Yeah, there's people that, I personally, I don't like being around alcoholics, and I don't like being around drug addicts. I don't like people's personalities when they change when they're drunk or when they're stoned. Food doesn't have that effect on you in most cases. So people don't see the damage that it does as much as they do with alcohol and drugs. If I was to post on Facebook, shooting up, feeling lonely, I'm going to shoot some heroin in my veins, I can actually say I can think of a few people, just a couple people, that would be like, I'm coming over to your house. I'm going to come over, we're going to sit down, we're going to get you help. But with alcohol, people will wait until, usually they'll wait until you're like the next day and they're like, we need to have an intervention. You need to quit this. This is affecting your life in a negative way, and it's affecting me in a negative way. But when you have a food addiction, it's something that you have to do. You have to eat. And being a professional chef for as long as I was, I know how to eat healthy. I know how to cook food healthy. So it's not, people look at my weight and they're like, oh, she's got to be the most unhealthy eater ever. No, it's not true. I never had the health issues and stuff that I had until I started following the doctor's diets to try to lose weight. And supposedly, that's because that was the issue. So, and once I got away from natural whole foods, natural whole fats, then I started having more health issues. So I'm trying to get back on track with that. But it's not how you eat as far as preparing your foods. It's when you eat, how much you eat. And it's not even that when I was younger, I would binge eat. I would eat to the point of making myself sick. But because I can't vomit, it takes an act of Congress for me to vomit, I wouldn't vomit. And I'd be miserable for like 2 whole days. My stomach, they actually thought one time, I went to the emergency room when I was 24, after a binge eat, and they thought that I had actually torn my stomach. Thankfully, I hadn't. But people don't understand. I mean, I can't. I post at night. I'll make a post at night about being, I'm depressed or whatever. And nobody really cares. Nobody really gives a shit. I have one friend usually that will ask you, "Are you okay?" But I mean, people as general, people don't care anymore. They just don't care. And when people find out that your drug of choice is food, they think you do it to yourself on purpose. They think it's something that you're doing and you have complete control over, and you don't. In the last year, before I got sick, I had lost about 65 pounds, and I felt amazing. It was life-altering. Honest to God, it was life-altering. Then I got sick. I was hospitalized, went through all this stuff. And I got depressed, like really depressed. And then the eating starts. And then the being too sick to be able to eat. And then the not sure if I was going to make it. And all of this other stuff. It just adds up. And then I have nobody to turn to talk to. Which doesn't help the situation. Because I really don't have anybody anymore. So, I turn to food. Now, a lot of people that I've talked to about this in other groups and stuff, it's like, they're like, "Oh, well, your addiction's not that bad because you don't eat that." I don't eat that much. I really don't. I don't sit and eat like 15 hamburgers and 5 pizzas, and that's not what I do. I constantly eat. When I get depressed, I constantly eat. And it's not because I'm hungry. It's just because there's this need to eat. That's why whenever Lily's upset or whatever, and she's like, "I'll go get something." No, you're not going to eat when you're upset. You're not going to eat when you're depressed. You're not doing that. You're not doing this to yourself. No. But people say, like, just stop eating. Do something else. Really, what? What do you do when that's all your brain thinks about? So, like, lately, one of my big things, and I know people are going to think this is stupid, but one of my big things I like to eat on at night, because I know it's low calorie and I know there's not much to it. You can eat a whole watermelon and only have 200 calories in it. So, I like to eat watermelon at night because it's also diuretic. So it has some benefits to it. But it's like, you just can't stop. And people don't understand. I try keeping binge foods out of the house, so I don't have them. I don't binge on candy, except for hard candy, like Good and Plenty or Milk Duds or those. And I do keep those in the house, but I regulate what I eat with those, because I figure if I have that little bit, I can have one of those small boxes. It's like 97 cents at Walmart of Milk Duds, and it'll last me a week. A week, sometimes 2 weeks. because I'll eat like 5 or 6 at a time and then I'm okay. I'm like, okay, I've had my little bit of sweetness. That's fine. Because I'm not really into sweets. My thing is I love meat. Meat and bread. Those are my two big things. But I wish people would understand. It's not an issue of putting down the fork, walking away from the plate. Push away from the table. It becomes obsessive. It becomes that's all you think about. And tonight was bad. We had pork chops for supper, pork chops and potatoes, which were really good. We did shake and bake, which we don't do very often. But it was good. I had one pork chop and probably a fourth of a cup of sliced up seasoned potatoes. And I was fine. I was fine for dinner. And then later I was hungry and I was upset about some stuff that was going on. So we had one leftover pork chop. And the pork chops were those pork chops that had the big bone in the middle, so there's not much meat around them. Each pork chop had maybe a fourth of a cup of actual usable meat on it. So I ate the other pork chop, which wasn't that much. And I was like, well, that's not enough. I need something else. That's all I can think about. It's just consuming my thoughts. So I go in and I try to find something else. There's nothing else really in there. I come back in here 5 times. I went back to the refrigerator, went to the cabinets. So it was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll have some cottage cheese. That cottage cheese will work. And now I don't want to mess with cottage cheese. So I got watermelon. I had probably an eighth of a watermelon. I cut the watermelon into fourths, put them in a bag, and I ate a half a bag. So it's like an eighth of a watermelon, which is like one big healthy slice. That's not that much either. But after that, I was like, oh, I want cottage cheese. That's it. I need cottage cheese. We're going to go for the cottage cheese. So I go in, and I'm like, well, I don't really want just a bowl of cottage cheese. I like to use cottage cheese as a dressing for salad. So I sliced up a little bit of lettuce. And it was maybe a third of a cup of lettuce, maybe. A thinly sliced lettuce. Third of a cup of lettuce. Maybe a fourth of a cup of cream of cottage cheese. And maybe an eighth of a cup of shredded cheddar cheese. And I ate that. And I'm like, okay. And I'm full. I can tell I don't want to eat anymore. I come in, I sit down, I start thinking, and I get upset. No, I need to eat. So I go in, I look again. I end up grabbing the bag of popcorn that's in there. It's pre-popped because we don't have a microwave right now. I grab the popcorn. I ate like 2 handfuls of popcorn. I'm like, I don't want this. Stop it. And I put it back. So literally, that's all I've ate today. Literally, that is what I have eaten today. I haven't eaten anything else. I haven't snacked on anything. I haven't had cheese and crackers. Literally nothing. I have nothing else to eat today. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, all I want to do is go eat. And I'm not hungry. All I want to do is make the pain that's going on inside go away. Because I don't know how to do that anymore. There's so much stress. There's so much going on. And so, people need to stop and think. I don't eat much during the day. I eat usually one meal, sometimes a snack or something. But I don't eat. I don't want to eat during the day. But at night, it's just like, it consumes every ounce of my energy. And it's like, I don't want it to be that way. And it's not because I'm hungry, because I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to be like, well, you want to eat because you're hungry because you haven't ate all day. I mean, I've literally probably eaten enough with what I binge ate to be a half-ass lunch. Those little styrofoam cups or styrofoam bowls, that's what my salad was in. But I'm sitting here thinking, all I want to do, I wish I just had a big piece of meat that I could sit and I could eat and everything would be okay. Everything would be alright. I would feel good. But it's not going to make me feel good. And I know it's not, but I don't know what else to do. And yeah, there are Overeaters Anonymous, and there's some other places where you can go to get help with eating problems. But they don't really do anything. I've looked into them before. Went to a couple of meetings at a place a long time ago. And it's like, there's nowhere to go. There's all sorts of rehab centers. There are all sorts of rehab centers. And there are rehab centers for alcohol and drug abuse. If you have an eating disorder, like I do, and you have a problem with food, you go to a mental health hospital. It's not looked at as an addiction. It's not looked at as something that is out of your control. It's not looked at as, oh, it's in your genetics, the way alcohol and drug abuse is.